this video, I'm going to 100% beach buggy racing. To pull that off, I'll need to earn 48 achievements, unlock 12 cars, rack up 315 stars, and 731 races, plus an insane grind that felt like it would never end. This game took way longer than I expected, so I hope you all enjoy it. We're starting out on this beach with the most basic tutorial ever, where they give us the option to pick our controls. Touch controls win out over tilt because, let's be honest, waving your phone around like a maniac just feels wrong. Tilt seemed futuristic back in the day, but tapping the screen is just more practical. Then the tutorial kicks in, showing you the power-ups scattered on the right side of the screen. Most of them wreck other cars, though there are a few speed boosts mixed in. Once the first race starts, there's that special ability button on the left, your character's ultimate move, and we're rolling with the default driver for now. The starter character's power is a straight speed boost, and even though he's the basic option, I genuinely love using it because a pure speed increase is just that effective. Right away in this opening race, I snag the I'm helping achievement, getting it on my first race ever. Though I'll admit it's not literally the hardest achievement, since some others are even more random and luck dependent. And at least with this one, I can use my character's ultimate ability repeatedly to create chances, unlike some achievements that are completely out of your control. But in this case, it was pure accident. My ultimate leaves a trail of fire behind me, and that fire just happened to hit someone who was frozen without me even realizing anyone was in that state. Total fluke. After finishing the tutorial race, the game takes me to the main menu, where it explains all the buttons and mechanics. And then I'm looking at the campaign mode. The campaign's structured as a series of races, where each one has a boss character, and beating them unlocks new racers to play as. I jump into the first series and immediately start dropping oil slicks to slow down the competition, and watch them slide into walls. These opening races are laughably easy. Everyone's way behind me while I'm just cruising at full speed. The nice part is that the early races are only one lap, so there's barely any challenge to them. Once I finish, I'm collecting power-ups, the stuff you use to either damage other racers or boost your own speed, basically the two main categories. There's a ton of them to unlock, and you can grab them with diamonds or unlock them as you progress. I picked up a fireball with my diamond budget, and then the game throws up one of those monetization pop-ups asking me to spend money. But here's the thing, it's completely free, zero cost. That's because I'm subscribed to Play Pass, which you guys recommended, and it's been incredible. Turns out with Play Pass, a bunch of the major games give you unlimited access to all the microtransactions at no extra charge. Every offer that pops up is free for me. The whole system is absurd because I'm getting all these deals without spending anything, and Play Pass itself is cheap. I actually skipped that car offer on purpose though. I didn't want to start with a powerful car right away. That would make the early races trivial and ruin the progression. So I'm sticking with the starter car and unlocking others as I go. Now I'm on Crab Cove, the second race. There's a monkey boost option at the start that makes your car faster and triggers an achievement called Special Sauce. The track is packed with crabs, and I can already tell there are going to be some annoying missions later about squashing them. But right now, these races are still free wins. My driving is terrible, and I'm still finishing first by a huge margin because the early difficulty is so easy. Third race is Shark Harbor, which I really like. It's a time trial instead of a normal race, so the focus is pure speed with nitro pickups scattered throughout instead of cars to blow up. I need to hit the finish line under 44 seconds to get first place. My first run was just scouting the map without using the nitros, and I came in third. Now I'm going back with the monkey boost active to actually go for the win, though I fumbled right off the line. My driving's pretty rough right now. I haven't touched a mobile racing game in years, so I'm definitely rusty. I grabbed a 50 diamond pack to get more monkey boosts without going overboard, and now I'm ready to use every boost available to push for that first place time. My initial attempt was sloppy at 49 seconds, but I could feel myself finding my rhythm. The second run was way cleaner with fewer crashes, though I clipped something right at the end and lost it. Still managed 45 seconds and 2 stars though, which is solid progress. I decided to upgrade the car fully to make it more stable and responsive, then threw on a skull paint job in black and red that looks absolutely sick. That unlocked the color theory achievement, and now with the upgraded car, the difference is immediately noticeable. I'm leaving my own shadow behind. I chained the boosts carefully, avoided bouncing off walls, and nailed 4269 with 3 stars. Moving on to Fiesta Village, a new map with a gorgeous town square plaza in the middle. I grabbed the skull power-up early, but got hit with that heavy slow effect that's throwing off my momentum. The straightforward finish first races are honestly the easiest in the game, usually pretty chill unless your car's underpowered. The real challenge comes from those special time trials and trickier event types. These basic races, they're cake. Now jumping into Dino Jungle on beginner difficulty. I'm noticing I'm not using any of the secret shortcuts that cut massive chunks off the map, and that's because I genuinely didn't know they existed. This is my first time playing the game, so I'm discovering the map layout as I go. Even crashing constantly and being completely new to the game, I still managed to finish first. These early races aren't even close. Beating this one gets me the beginner achievement for collecting all the stars in this first series. Now we're facing the first boss, this little girl who's incredibly fast. She gets an opening boost and leaves behind a slime trail that slows you down, so I need to dodge it and find an opening. This is also the first 2-lap race. Everything before was single lap. I pulled off an insane overtake to get past her, and once I was in front, she couldn't use that annoying trail against me anymore. It was smooth sailing from there. But then on the second attempt, I was doing fine until she hit me with that flower power-up in a corner and sent me crashing into everything. She crossed the line first by a hair, even though I threw a skull at her at the very end and blew up her car. I had to run it back. This time I messed up the start by forgetting the monkey boost, which would have made a huge difference. I grabbed the bullhorns power-up instead. Ramming her with those basically wrecks her car, and kept dodging her trail while pushing as fast as I could. Then I hit this section with some really nice speed, but it still wasn't enough to get past her. I was way behind until I landed the lightning power-up, which took her out completely, and I cruised past to finish first by the narrowest margin. She almost caught me back, but I got the win and cleared the first boss. After beating the boss, you spin these prize wheels for random items, but since I have infinite diamonds, everything in the shop is free anyway, so the spins are pointless. I just bought every power-up in the game instead, which unlocked the Power Hungry achievement for getting 10 power-ups. Now I'm testing the new character I just unlocked, the little girl, in the Coconut Cup series on the Tiki Temple map. I absolutely dominated the first part, blowing past everyone and taking first place, though I made a dumb move using her ultimate ability while I was behind everyone, so it did nothing. I crashed and dropped to last place, but I'm recovering with clean driving and grabbing power-ups along the way, even though the bots keep blowing me up. Since these are early races, nobody builds a huge lead, so I can always catch back up. I almost got knocked off a bridge by another racer, but I pushed through and climbed to second place. Not first, so I'll need to run it again for the 3 stars. I'm switching back to my main character though, because the girl's special ability just isn't clicking with me. The speed boost guy is way more effective, so I'm sticking with him. I also played through a new map that I somehow didn't record. I'm not sure if I forgot to hit record or what, but I've got 0 footage of it. I'll show it off next time that map comes up in rotation. The Crab Beach map is the one that really defines this game for me. It's the quintessential beach buggy racing experience. I ran through it pretty cleanly, fumbled a bit here and there and got blown up, but managed to pass everyone at the end and take first. Then I ran the same map again, but this time it was an elimination race where the last place driver gets knocked out every so often. I started in last place myself, but I cleaned things up pretty quick. The elimination format works with a 5-second countdown before each elimination, and you're out if you're still last when it hits 0. This keeps going until only 2 players remain, at which point I have to be in first or I'm done. I finished with 3 stars and first place on my first try. After that came the mushroom map, which is solid overall but has annoying water sections that slow you down if you fall in. I hadn't figured out yet that you can hug the right side to avoid the water entirely, so I was struggling through those parts. Then I hit the dino map again and completely fell apart. Finished 4th twice in a row, and on the 3rd attempt, I was so far behind, I just restarted. The car felt like garbage, so I decided to buy some upgrades and test out a new vehicle instead. Got this yellow beast fully maxed out with a ridiculous engine that's practically bursting through the hood, and it felt like a completely different experience. Until I still finished 4th. Couldn't believe it. Tried yet another car, convinced this one would be the answer, maxed everything out again, and finally started seeing some real progress. This new car is genuinely fast enough to leave everyone in the dust, even with that annoying water section that kills your momentum and the bots blowing you up on top of it. Crushed the map and got first place with 3 stars. Now we're at Shark Harbor with a new fireworks minigame where you shoot bullseyes with the fireworks you pick up. Each target's worth 10 points, but hitting enemy cars is worth 20, so that's where the real strategy lies. Races are basically a breeze with this car. It's legitimately overpowered, so the standard ones feel free. I actually snagged the comeback achievement by accident during this one. I crashed early in lap 2 and dropped to last place, but the car's speed let me blast through the entire field and take first again, which triggered the achievement for winning after being in 6th. Love when speedrun strats happen unintentionally. For the last race before Boss 2 on the crab map, the AI threw ice at me that made sliding everywhere a constant threat, but I kept it clean and steady. This map's honestly the easiest in the game for me, since there's barely anything blocking the way. I slipped a second for a moment. The bots are getting sharper as we progress, so I popped the monkey boost and reclaimed first. The takeaway's simple: don't throw. When I finished second, it's because I crashed constantly and basically speedran losing. Drive clean and it's a guaranteed win. That race locked in the contender achievement for getting every star in the Coconut Cup. Now facing Boss 2, this little hatted guy who's way more annoying than the first one. He launches this relentless barrage of bouncing balls that scatter everywhere, not just trailing behind him. If you're anywhere near him, dodging them is brutal. They'll launch you off the track, into the water, into the void, and you're done. The most broken part is that these bosses spam their ultimates constantly, as many times as they want, while we only get 1 per race. That's straight up unfair. But once you get past him, it's smooth sailing. His whole kit only works backwards, so once you overtake him, his abilities become useless. He can't throw anything forward. So the strategy is simple: pass him, hit the boosts, and run. That's how I beat him. Almost. First attempt, I got ahead, survived him knocking me down and dumping more balls on me. But right at the finish line, he shattered my car and took first. I got second. So close. Second attempt, those stupid balls are launching me off the track again, breaking everything, but I'm pushing through. Then his own ball hits me and punts me forward instead. I smack into a tree, but the respawn puts me even further ahead. I take first place, but honestly, that win was pure luck. His ball gave me the speed boost, and the tree respawn teleported me up the road. I'll take it. Now moving into Sunshine Sprint. The first race is Paradise Beach, a new map that looks like the other beach maps, because it's a beach. The wooden deck sections are the tricky part here. Come in too hot and you'll fly right off the side, losing a ton of positions. I didn't feather the brake like I should have, drove like a caveman, but I still managed to blow up the guys who passed me and overtake the whole field, even after getting moonballed. I'm about to cross the finish line and win, and then this homing skull creature, some kind of bat thing, locks onto me from across the map and deletes me. Drops me straight to 4th. I could taste the victory and then boom, gone. So I reset, ran it clean, and this time I closed it out in 1st. They were glued to my bumper the entire race. One mistake and I'm done, but I held it together. The second race is on the same map, but with all these water puddles that slow you down. I switched to the cowboy character to test out his ultimate ability, which throws these balls. Honestly, I don't vibe with most of the other ultimates. There are very few characters I've actually stuck with long term because most of the new ones just have some version of exploding enemies. The thing is, that ultimate is completely useless when you're already winning. You're in first place? Congratulations, your ultimate is a paperweight. That's why I keep going back to the main character. His ultimate is a speed boost, so it's useful literally always. Winning? Boost to win harder. Losing? Boost to catch up. It just works. But I do like testing them out. The important part is, I still won comfortably with the cowboy, and that race gave me the Metric Century achievement for driving 100 kilometers. There's a way bigger distance achievement waiting down the road, but I'm not going to suffer through that in advance. Then there's another bullseye event, but this time, instead of aiming and shooting fireworks, you grab this bullhorn thing and just ram stuff to break the targets. The ram mechanic is way easier than the fireworks version. No aiming required, just pure chaos and violence. Targets give 10 points. Enemy cars give 20 if you even graze them. Cleared it first try with a score of 217. Now I'm checking out that map I mentioned earlier but didn't record, the one with the lava interior section. It's got those annoying slowdown waters, but the map itself is really cool. There's this insane wide turn with a golden statue, and I found a shortcut there that was genuinely hard to pull off because I wasn't using the brake at all. I was just full throttle the whole time, no thoughts, head empty, so I could never nail that corner. It's incredibly tight. I ended up skipping the shortcut and taking the normal route instead, which was honestly just me being careless about braking. Later on, I actually started using the brake like I should have been the whole time. Sometimes you just have to show restraint. The map was going smooth until the very end when someone detonated me right before the finish line. Got hit by one person, then blown up by someone behind them, and I thought it was over. But the guy next to me got blown up too, and I managed to squeeze past him in the final milliseconds. It was razor thin. You can barely see how close it was. Ended up getting first place. I won the next map too, which was a straightforward race. Then came another time trial, and these are the ones that actually get to me. If I'm ranking the hardest content in this game, time trials are up there because some of those target times are brutal. This one needed 46 seconds, which isn't terrible for an early map, but I choked it anyway. Second attempt, I used the monkey boost, chained all the pickups together, and got it done. Took a few tries to learn the map's rhythm, though I'm still not using that shortcut that would have saved me a chunk of time. More dummy behavior on my part. Especially frustrating since I was playing with no internet at the time. I couldn't look up the shortcuts and wasn't experimenting much, just grinding it raw, which is why it took way longer than it should have. After an absurd number of attempts, I finally cleared it with a second and change to spare. 3 stars. Now I'm moving into some basic races to decompress, and honestly, when an event is just finish first, I'm relieved. No cursed minigame, just drive fast. Won those ones on the first try. Then came an elimination race again, down to the final 2 with the countdown ticking, and I had to overtake right then or get eliminated. Got lucky and slipped past him in the final moment. After that, the ice map showed up, which is genuinely tough because everything slides and the car won't stay pointed in one direction. But with my borderline illegal car, I took first try anyway. On the next map, there's an awesome achievement called the Dentist that I'm going for. So I nailed it on the second attempt with 21 points, just barely clearing the threshold. Then I wrapped up Crab Cove and Dino Jungle to snag the competitor achievement for collecting all the stars, which sets up the final boss fight against Disco Jimmy. He kicks things off with that massive launch boost that rockets him ahead, and when he activates his special move, it shoots forward instead of backward like mine does. That's what makes him genuinely dangerous. If you're trailing him, you're fine, but the moment you pass and get in front, that disco ball comes screaming at you and forces your character into an uncontrollable dance sequence mid-race. It's wild and completely breaks your steering for a moment. The ability itself isn't mechanically devastating since your car keeps rolling forward and you just lose control briefly. But the forward-facing nature of it is way more threatening than bosses who only attack from behind, since those become useless once you overtake them. Cruising through the next stretch of races without much trouble, and honestly, the special ability he's got here is kind of fun to deal with. The real challenge comes from those bullseye with fireworks events. Those are the only ones eating up my time and forcing retries. This particular one was brutal, getting me close multiple times with scores in the 190s when I needed just a bit more, but I kept grinding until I got it. When you finally clear these events, you don't just barely make it, you absolutely crush it. Finished with 254 points, way more than necessary. It's always this extreme. Either you score nothing or you score everything. Moving to Misty Marsh now, which is frustrating because there's water everywhere. You can't just cut across corners like I did here without ending up in the drink and losing all your momentum. First attempt didn't work out, came in second, but once I figured out the proper racing lines and stopped crashing into ponds, first place became straightforward. Second attempt went much cleaner. Had the map dialed in and took first easily. Cleared Fiesta Village in first as well. Then came another time trial, which is exactly what I didn't want to see. This one required 42 seconds, and I posted 51. Absolutely terrible. I wasn't even using the shortcuts, which makes it worse. And to top it off, I had zero internet connection at this point. Stuck out in the countryside with no signal anywhere. That meant my Play Pass perks weren't loading, so the game kept telling me I was out of tickets or diamonds. There was only one spot nearby with signal, so whenever I ran dry on resources, I had to physically go there to get back online. Got nowhere with that trial, so I started browsing the unlockable characters and found Davy Jones. Beat him in a race and unlocked him. His power lets you turn invisible and phase through obstacles, which is incredibly useful. Gave my car a fresh black and red paint job and tried the trial again with Davy's help, but even with him, Jones didn't cut it for this challenge. His invisibility is great for normal races, but for pure time trials it doesn't help much. I switched back to res since that speed boost matters way more against the clock, then just ground it out, repeating the trial over and over, refining my cornering until I finally broke 40 seconds and got the 3 stars. Definitely the most tedious one so far. After that grind, I was ready for some easier races where my car's speed just carries me through. Cruised those in first try. The bullhorn minigame was gentler this time too, only needing 180 points when I scored 204. Then came the elimination race where I almost nailed a shortcut but completely botched the angle, so it didn't help, and I ended up finishing third. On the retry though, it was clean. Just hold first while everyone else gets eliminated behind you. Now I'm on Red Planet, this sci-fi map that's totally different from the others. When you exit the enclosed section, the gravity shifts, and your car starts doing these floaty little hops like you're permanently under a moon power-up. It's a genuinely cool mechanic that makes the map feel unique, and it's pretty short too. Clearing the professional achievement for all the stars in this cup took a few more attempts than usual on the trickier sections. But once the rhythm clicks, it's manageable. Nothing like those mini-games that drag on forever. Now I'm facing El Zippo, the next boss, whose gimmick is leaving a trail behind him that instantly KOs you if you touch it. His ultimate works similarly to the horn power-up, but permanent. He wrecks you on contact and sends you back to respawn, though I'm not even sure if it gives him a speed boost. This boss fight was genuinely frustrating because he was exploiting every shortcut on the map while I was still learning them, so keeping first place felt nearly impossible. Then one run, everything clicked. I built a massive lead on him, though I suspect he just had a terrible race with constant crashes and respawns. I stretched that advantage and took the win comfortably, but honestly, that gap felt more like luck than skill, since he doesn't usually malfunction that badly. Now I'm moving through a new ice map with Yetis scattered across the track that you can run down for an achievement if you flatten enough of them, though that grind sounds tedious. The map itself was straightforward, cleared it first try. Then there's another follow the leader challenge on the water map, which is way trickier. You have to maintain the right distance from the leader to collect the bubbles properly, and I keep overshooting them because I'm riding too close. After some attempts, I managed to hit 22 points and grab 3 stars. A couple of normal races came next, easy wins as always. Then another minigame hit, and this one was genuinely brutal. Took way longer than usual to get through, but I finally scored 215 points. Now I'm back on Red Planet, which is honestly one of my favorite maps because the gravity mechanic makes it genuinely fun to drive. The next race is trickier with those wooden deck sections that force you to brake, and they threw a time trial at me. I needed a near perfect line through that turn to hit the 3-star time, but I kept fumbling and stubbornly refusing to learn the shortcuts, even though that would have obviously been faster. Now moving to the hardest map with lava and fire geysers that launch you skyward if you hit them, plus absurdly steep corners where braking is essential to avoid plunging into lava. My brake control wasn't great, but I managed second place on the first try, then attempted another run where things went south pretty quickly. Despite that disaster, I pulled off a comeback and won with a solid margin. Then I tackled the Yeti ice map in points mode, where ramming the Yeti gives bonus points, though one hit didn't count because someone else bumped me into it first. These point events are tougher and took about 20 minutes of attempts before I hit 222 points and cleared it, along with the other ice map. Running the ice map again as a straight race was much easier. Finished second on the first attempt, then took first comfortably on the second try. That cleared every event in the series and unlocked the expert achievement. Now moving on to the Oog Oog boss, who has this mask ability that wobbles your car and messes with your control. It's got serious Crash Bandicoot vibes, plastering across the screen and blocking your vision so you might crash. Honestly though, it's kind of a weak ability overall. The mask just clutters your view without actually forcing you to lose control or crash, so it's more of a visibility nuisance than a real threat. Beat him on the second try. Pretty straightforward fight. That leads into the Pineapple Punch series, starting with the fire map, the lava one that's genuinely challenging. Stayed locked in, and when the bots threw dynamite at the end, I'd already crossed the finish line so it missed completely. First place. Beach race went smoothly too. First place again. Now heading into Red Planet. Red Planet's elimination mode, so the key is staying near the front to avoid getting cut. I messed up the first run, dropped to third, got passed by the whole lobby and got eliminated. Ran it back with better control, built a solid gap, and took first comfortably. Then came another follow the leader, and this one actually taught me something. The leader found a shortcut on the lava map I'd never seen before. It's a tricky sequence of broken ramps where you've got to be precise dropping from one to the next. Definitely the hardest follow the leader I've done, and the map itself is already pretty brutal. The challenge is maintaining the perfect distance from the leader, close enough to see the bubbles and not lose them, but far enough back that you don't crash into them. It's this constant balance between braking and accelerating. And that's where I got our first Easter egg. After nailing that ramp sequence, we smashed the egg and unlocked both the Leap of Faith achievement for the triple jump and the Egg Finder achievement for discovering the Easter egg itself. 2 achievements at once, though I managed to stay composed about it. But I didn't actually clear the event that run, so I had to keep grinding it. Those jump timings were brutal and took dozens of attempts to master. Eventually, I scraped together enough points to move on. Then came the Penguin Ice Map, which is straightforward as long as you drive clean and avoid bouncing off walls. After that was the Ice Bullseye event where you're destroying targets, which started getting annoying. The real killer was this puddle-filled time trial map. I had to learn to hug the right side lines to dodge the water and maintain speed. There's literally no other way to hit the time requirement. Every fraction of a second counts, and this one absolutely consumed my time. I was so desperate I started testing different cars just to find an edge. The score I needed was brutal too, 222 points minimum, which was cutting it incredibly close. Then I discovered this Formula 1 style car that turned everything around. Maxed it out completely, took it for a run, and cleared the trial on my first attempt with it. After spending over an hour failing with everything else, this car made it look easy, like switching from a regular car to a fighter jet. I wish I'd found it earlier and saved myself the headache, but at least I finally broke through. With this beast, the normal races became trivial. Finishing the entire series got me the champion achievement, plus the reckless one for winning a 1,000 horsepower race without ever touching the brakes, pure throttle the whole way. That caveman driving style finally paid off. Oh, and I should mention I also grabbed the car collector achievement earlier for buying 5 cars, but I forgot to bring that up until now. Moving on to the next boss. This little girl with an absolutely terrible ultimate. She gets a punch that shoves you away and wrecks your car, but it's even worse than the horn ability because you have to be practically glued to her rear bumper for it to connect, and it only works from behind. She never landed it on me once, which made that fight laughably easy. Now I'm rolling into Title Rush, the second to last campaign series, and I'm already clearing through the opening maps. The real gauntlet hits when I reach the fire and lava stage, the hardest one, combined with the bullhorn target minigame on top of it. At least it's the horn version instead of fireworks, which would have been brutal. Even so, this took me a solid 40 to 50 minutes of grinding attempts. I finally pulled off 223 points with 9 seconds left on the clock, so I started messing around trying to kill the lava monster and immediately fell into the fire. Couldn't finish him off, but I was going for those points because eliminating those creatures counts toward an achievement anyway. After that gauntlet, I cruised through the remaining maps in race mode. My mental recovery time, basically. These are brain massage races where I just chill and enjoy the flow. Though even the supposedly easy ones like Red Planet managed to trip me up and needed a few retries. Cleared the ice elimination without trouble, handled the fire map as a straightforward race, and somewhere mid-Dino Jungle an achievement popped for winning a 1000 HP race without resetting. Just a matter of not rage quitting mid-run and pushing through from start to finish. Then, while running through the next section, something rare triggered. Percent of players have it. 4%! The RNG gods were definitely on my side that day. Then there's this fireworks minigame that absolutely destroys me. Took about an hour to get through it. I kept coming so close to 3 stars, but couldn't quite seal the deal. Finally cleared it though, and when I did, I absolutely crushed it. 253 points when I only needed 220. They keep raising the bar on these things too, which feels personal at this point. Final race is the Penguin Ice Map with all these adorable penguins sliding around until I show up and flatten them all. Cleared it first try, which unlocks the superhero achievement for completing the whole series with every star. Now I'm facing Berserk, this alien boss with an insane ultimate ability. He literally swaps places with you mid-race. You could be inches from the finish line, and he just teleports you back while he crosses. It's genuinely broken if he uses it late in the race. The strategy boils down to keeping him from having his ultimate charged at the finish line, or maintaining such a massive lead that he can't swap you from that distance. I managed to beat him through a combination of skill and honestly just praying his ult was on cooldown when it mattered. Now I've unlocked him as a playable character and immediately switched over to test him out. This brings me to the final series of the campaign, starting with one of the hardest maps yet. Testing him out, I realize his ultimate is fundamentally a panic button. It only matters when you're losing. If you're already in first, it's just dead weight sitting there while you cruise to victory. That's why I keep gravitating back to Rez, my main character, since his nitro boost works in every situation, extending leads when you're winning or clawing back when you're behind. The alien needs you to be trailing and close to the finish line for that last second swap to be truly devastating. And I never quite lined up that perfect moment here, so I just ran the races normally and switched back to Rez. Cleared through the rest of the events pretty smoothly. Even that bullseye race I usually dread went surprisingly quick. Elimination mode was straightforward too, just a normal race without the comeback mechanic, so falling behind means you're actually done. The ice map at the end was easy with the rocket I had. First place no problem, which locked in the legend achievement for completing the final series with all stars. Now it's time for the actual final boss, the rabbit. Benny's got a more aggressive kit than the other bosses. Instead of attacking behind him, he throws stuff forward, so once you pass him, he can still tag you and send you tumbling backward in the standings. His power is genuinely threatening compared to the rest, though using it yourself later doesn't amount to much since there's nothing ahead of you to hit when you're in first. Still, he wasn't particularly difficult. Just hold your lines, break when needed, and you'll get through it. Grabbing those skull power-ups with the homing missiles makes the fight way easier. After some solid attempts, I finally take him down, and that wraps up the entire campaign. Every race finished, every boss defeated. We're incredibly close to 100% completion now that I've hit elite rank in Beach Buggy and unlocked Benny as a playable character. But there's still a massive amount of content left to tackle. The championships are next, and I thought I'd basically be done once the campaign finished. I figured it'd just be mopping up the remaining achievements for that 100%. Turns out I was completely wrong about that. Every single car has its own championship series, and there are 12 cars total. Each championship has 4 difficulty tiers, ranging from 100 horsepower to 1000 horsepower, with the number of races scaling up. 4 races in the first tier, 6 in the second, 8 in the third, and 10 in the final tier. That's 28 races per car, which means 336 total races just to complete every championship. And that's only if I never lose a single race, which definitely doesn't happen. The brutal part is that these are sequential championships, so losing even one race locks you out of retrying just that race. You have to restart the entire tier. So if I'm deep into the 1000 HP tier with 10 races, and I mess up near the end, I'm starting over from race 1. I started with the basic B-Buggy and worked through the second tier. In race 3 of 6, I had 63 points and was still leading, but El Zippo was right on my heels. I managed to close it out and won the final race, finishing first overall with 109 points and earning the gold podium with 3 stars. Now I've got 2 more tiers to grind through for this car, but before tackling the next tier with the 500 horsepower vehicle, I decided to switch gears and hunt for achievements since I was only at 22. The first one was straightforward. Win a daily challenge, which was easier than the usual horn events, so I grabbed the challenger achievement. The next one required finishing a race without using any power-ups at all, so I just went full throttle and got pure speed. Then I went for something trickier, winning a race with a chicken on your face. I hunted down the chicken power-up, deployed it near the finish line, and on the final lap steered right into it just before crossing to get the Taste Like Chicken achievement. That one took some setup and a bit of luck, but it paid off. Turns out that same race was where I also won the next tournament outright. For the Beach Buggy's first 10-race championship gauntlet, I tested characters I hadn't used much, including the alien. I went for his signature move, using his teleport to swap places and steal first right as the leader's about to cross the finish line. Maximum disrespect. While grinding through those races, I also hit the 1% achievement for racking up over 1,000,000 coins total across my entire career. The alien play came together perfectly when I was in second and the leader was right at the line. Swap. Done. That triggered the Sweet Hero achievement. There's something satisfying about pulling off that ultimate move myself, though I'll admit it's infuriating when it happens to me. If Beach Buggy had online multiplayer, using this on real players would be absolute chaos. For the next achievement, I needed the Skull power-up, the homing missile that tracks whoever's in first and destroys any cars in its path. Landing it on 3 or more vehicles in a single shot unlocked 3 in 1. But then came the brutal grind. 100 seagulls. Just smashing birds. 100 of them. While grinding through the Seagull Massacre, we unlocked a new map exclusive to this mode that's genuinely stunning. You drive through an underwater tunnel like you're inside a giant aquarium. The corners demand respect or you'll flip, but it's probably my favorite track in the game. I finished 4th on it, which put me at 36 points and made the championship recovery feel pretty grim. Eventually, I hit the Seagull map, racked up the kills mid-race, and the achievement popped with a name like Grrr Raider. Whoever named that deserves credit. Still had the rest of the championship to finish though, and my comeback attempt, well, let's just say the doubt was justified. I didn't pull it off. Complete restart, all 10 races from 0 again. That's the real nightmare of this grind. You won't win them all cleanly, you'll fumble like I did, and then it's back to square one. So I ran the whole thing again, and this time came out on top with 189 points, even after placing 5th in the final race. That's the one-time champion achievement locked in. Sounds triumphant until you realize the grind is barely getting started, and there are so many more championships waiting. It's bleak, but that's the game. Gotta keep pushing through it. The championships keep stacking up. 28 races each, and achievements pop up along the way. Hit a milestone of 1,000,000 meters driven, 1,000 kilometers in a buggy. Then there's the long jump achievement I got by accident when a power-up that was supposed to be a debuff launched me sky high on Red Planet, and I landed a 400-meter jump. Sometimes the sabotage works in your favor, and now I'm chasing down another achievement that's been on my radar. The luck-based ones are brutal because they require absurd RNG alignment. This particular one demands hitting an opponent with an Earth Strike while they're floating from low gravity, so I need an enemy to catch the Moon power-up, start floating, and then I have to land the Earth Strike on them mid-air. The probability of those two things lining up is microscopic, and I've been grinding through so many attempts trying to force it. Meanwhile, I've been pushing through championships, unlocking new cars as I go. Then, mid-grind, everything clicked. I had an Earth Strike ready, the guy ahead caught low gravity, and the moment finally arrived. But I panicked and missed. The rarest setup imaginable, handed to me on a silver platter, and I fumbled the throw. I thought that was it. The chance was gone forever. Except 2 races later, the universe apparently took pity on me. The exact same miracle lined up again. Earth Strike in hand, opponent floating. This time I stayed calm, waited for the perfect moment, and connected. Going, gone, finally unlocked. It's sitting at 5% of players, and it's mine now. From there, it's been pure championship grinding. Just racing through every map I've already conquered, chasing down the remaining achievements. After powering through 5 championships to unlock 5-time champion, I took a breather to tackle some cleanup achievements. The game doesn't technically require finishing all the championships for completion, but since I'm going for true 100%, I'm doing them anyway. Now I'm working on smashing 500 palm trees. Sounds ridiculous, but I've already destroyed most of them during normal play, so I'm close to finishing this one. Next up are the smaller destruction achievements. 40 crabs to flatten for Crab Terminator, and then the genuinely brutal one, 50 death bats. The bat farming is the real pain since you have to actually hit them mid-air, which requires either riding fire geysers up to their altitude or waiting for them to swoop down. I found that grinding a specific race works best, since the bats occasionally spawn during it. The key is that there's a guaranteed bat spawn later in the race where you can launch off a ramp and tag him mid-air, though the ramp timing took serious practice to nail consistently. After grinding through run after run, both achievements popped. Skull Go Boom for the death bats, and another for smashing 20 lava monsters that spawn in the same area. Then come the Yetis, 25 of them. The cruel part is the number's smaller, but it takes way longer since each Yeti only spawns once per race at the very end. So missing him means starting over. The whole race becomes a slog just to get one attempt at the Yeti, unlike the bats clustered near the start. After a long grind, Cry of the Yeti finally unlocked. Next are the penguins, 100 of them. This ice map is basically Penguin Central, packed with entire colonies in one area, so you can mow through huge numbers each lap. It's honestly the easiest of these grinds because of how densely they spawn, and it unlocks Unhappy Feet, a play on Happy Feet, except the opposite. Then Turtle Power is straightforward. Just jump on 3 different turtles at a shortcut. The trick is you don't need to chain them consecutively. You can hop on one, fall in the water, come back, and hit another whenever. 3 total, no pressure. The next achievement though, I'm still trying to figure out what the game's actually asking for. Hunting across every map. There are actually more than 10 total, collecting them all for the full 100%. It was slow, and some of them are legitimately tricky to reach, but bagging them all unlocks Egg Hunter. The next one looked painful but had a beautiful exploit. Super Challenge. Complete 7 daily challenges in a row. Played legit, that's 7 real days of logging in daily. 7 days of my life, which would have even delayed this video. But, beautifully, if you just change your phone's date, it works. So I time traveled. Advance the date 1 day, do the challenge, which was easy anyway, advance again, repeat. 7 fake days later, achievement unlocked. The space-time continuum sends its regards. And now, one of the genuinely hardest achievements in the entire game. I could not get this thing playing normally, and the only realistic method requires 2 controllers. Everyone who has this achievement basically used 2 controllers, and I got lucky because I have a PS5 at home with 2 DualSense controllers that pair with Android. Connected both to my phone, which unlocks split screen in Beach Buggy Racing, since split screen only works with physical controllers, not touch. The achievement itself is brutal. Detonate a car with the dynamite effect using the remote control power-up, which means I need the luck of pulling the remote control and some car simultaneously having active dynamite. So my strategy was to use the second account to farm mystery boxes until dynamite finally rolled, then park that car and freeze it. Meanwhile, on my main account, I farmed boxes hunting for the remote control. The moment I pulled it, I detonated the second account's car and got the achievement. The whole thing took maybe 20 or 30 minutes with this method, but trying it legitimately felt genuinely impossible. I got every other luck-based achievement through normal persistence, but this one just wasn't happening without the 2-controller workaround. Now for the final achievement, driving 2,000 kilometers total. I've been grinding through championships the whole time anyway, so I'm clearing all of them for full completion. While finishing one particular car's championship, the 2,000 kilometer milestone hits and double down pops. That's an absolutely insane amount of buggy mileage. Funny thing, if I were doing this on PS5, it'd be way worse since the console version demands significantly more kilometers and has crueler achievements overall. Mobile's the slightly merciful version. And with that, every single achievement in the game is done. All 48 of them. Now comes the real gauntlet, finishing every remaining championship. There's so much left. Countless cars, countless races, I genuinely lost count somewhere. Plus the occasional race where I choke and have to restart the entire championship, which is brutal. But after grinding through every last sequential race, we finally hit it. 100% completion on Beach Buggy Racing. All 48 achievements, the entire campaign, every championship. This took an enormous amount of time and was genuinely one of the grindiest games I've done on this channel, though it still doesn't quite top Shadow Fight 2. If you enjoyed this, subscribe because it helps me out tremendously, and drop a like and comment too. That engagement signals to YouTube to push the video further, which helps me keep making these videos. And real talk, they take an absurd amount of work. Anyway, that's it from me. Hope you had fun, and I'll catch you in the next one.